In this video, we are going to be learning how to cut this beautiful stylish bustier blouse with an asymmetric hemline. So if it's something you would love to learn, do well to watch to the end, like, share and subscribe. Before we get right into the video, I want to appreciate all my returning subscribers. Thank you so much for your support. I see you and I really appreciate you. If you are new on my channel, do well to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. So let's get right into it. I'm going to rule a straight line here, which is going to serve as my shoulder line and my starting line. So from there, I'm going to come down to take my vertical measurement. From my shoulder to my bust point is 9.5 inches. I'm going to mark that and extend the point across. Then from the shoulder line again, I'm going to come down to mark my under bust. From my shoulder to my under bust is 12 inches. I'm going to mark that. I'm going to repeat it here so I can have a straight line, and I'll go ahead and extend the point across as well. Then from the shoulder line again, I'm going to come down to mark my waist point. From my shoulder to my waist in front is 16 inches. You know, from your shoulder to your waist in front and back is not the same, so do well to take the measurement appropriately. I will extend this point across this way. Then from my shoulder line again, I'm going to come down to mark the full length. So I'm using 24 inches as the full length. It depends on what you want. It can be lesser or higher than 24 inches. It depends on the style you are going for. Alright, so I'm going to extend this point across, and this is the top length, this is the waistline, this is the under bust line, and this is the bust line. I'm going to come to the shoulder line here, divide my shoulder by 2, which is 7.5. I'm going to mark it right here. At that point, I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I'll come here to mark my neck width of 3 inches. I'll connect from the shoulder slope all the way to the neck width. Then I'm going to come down to mark my neck depth. So I'm using 3 inches for the neck depth. I'm using 3 by 3, and I'll just connect from the neck width all the way to this point with my curve rule. The next thing is to mark the chest line. How to get your chest line? Divide your bust by 6, add 1.5 inches to the measurement, and that gives me 7. I'll go ahead and extend this point across. So I'm going to label this line my chest line. On my chest line, I'm going to mark my shoulder measurement here to have a straight line, and I'll connect from the shoulder slope all the way to the point we just marked on the chest line. I'm going to come to this line. I'm going to divide what I have here into 2 to get the midpoint. At the midpoint, I'll go in by ½ an inch. I'll come to the chest line, divide my bust circumference by 4, and I'll connect all these points all the way to the shoulder slope to form my armhole. The next thing is to mark the dart, and to get your dart, you're going to divide your nipple to nipple measurement by 2. My nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2 is 3.5. I'm going to mark it on the bust line, under bust, waistline, all the way to the top length, and I'll go ahead and connect all these points together like so. Then on the under bust line, I'm going to mark 0.7 here on both sides of this line, but if you're a plus size person, you can use 1.5 inches. All right, I'm going to mark 0.7 on both sides, and I'll connect these 2 points together like this. I'm going to come down from the waistline by 6 inches, and then I'll come down from the bust line by 1 inch. I'll go ahead and connect with my curve rule. I'll connect from the under bust all the way to the 1 inch we came down. I'll do the same thing on this other side. Then I'll connect from the waistline all the way to the 6 inches we mark downwards like so. So we are using a preset dart for this blouse, so I'm going to connect from here to the midpoint of my armhole like so with my curve rule. Then I'm going to tighten up this place. I'm going to mark ½ an inch on both sides of this line, and I'll connect it back into the original line like so. So the 1 inch we took for our tightening here, I'm going to replace it on this lower line here so we don't have any shortage when we are sewing. I will extend this line to that 1 inch. I'll also replace the 1 inch on the chest line, and I will connect my armhole So this is going to be our new armhole that we'll be working with. The next thing is to impute our round body measurement. We've already marked our bust measurements. I'll add my sewing allowance of 1 inch. I'll come to the under bust, mark my under bust measurement. I'll replace the dart intake and I'll add my sewing allowance. I'll come to the waistline, divide my waist by 4. I'll mark it. The dart intake here, I'm going to replace it and then add my sewing allowance of 1 inch. I'll come to the top line, divide my hip circumference by 4 and then add my sewing allowance of 1 inch. I'll go ahead and connect my point. I'll just shape my pattern. So the next thing we're going to do right now is to mark our bust dart. And to mark your bust dart, this is the difference you have from your shoulder to your waist in front and back. From my shoulder to my waist in front is 16 inches, while from my shoulder to my waist at the back is 14.5 inches. So the difference is 1.5 inches. So I'll come down by that 1.5 inches from the bust line and connect all the way to this point like so. So we are going to take out this part here. And this is basically it. I'm going to trace what I have here. My paper is on fold, remember. I'm going to trace everything I have here to the other side. So this is what we have. The next thing is to work on the hemline, on the hem rather. So I'm going to come down from the waistline by 3 inches. This is where I want the slit to start from. It depends on what you want. I came down by 3.5 inches. So I'm just going to connect from here all the way to the side like so. I'll come up here by ½ inch. I'll come up here by ½ inch here and just connect from there like this. Please, if you don't understand what I'm saying, just look at what I am doing. This is very easy to do, alright? You can always go over the line again until you are satisfied what you have there, alright? So I'm going to close my dart here and then connect from there to the other side like so. I'll come up here by ½ inch or so. I'll just connect, and this is basically it. I'll just go ahead and cut this out. So this is what we have. You can see that asymmetric hemline that we have there. Make sure when cutting on your fabric, you close down your bust dart. This is very important. Close down your bust dart before cutting on your fabric. And this is what we have for the front. We're going to keep this aside. For the back, I've already gone ahead to rule out the necessary lines, and I have my zipper allowance of 1 inch. I'm going to come here to mark my shoulder measurements on my shoulder line. I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I'll come here to mark my neck width of 3 inches and I'll connect. Make sure all your measurements are taken after the zipper allowance. Then I'm going to come down to mark my neck depth. I'm using 1 inch for the neck depth for the back, and I'll connect all the way into the zipper allowance. The next thing is to mark the chest line using the same formula we use for the front. Divide your bust by 6, add 1.5 inches to the measurement. I will extend this point across. On my chest line, I'm going to mark my shoulder measurement here, and I'll connect from the shoulder slope all the way to this point. I'll come to this line, divide what I have here into 2 to get the midpoint. At the midpoint, I'll go in by ½ inch. I'll come to the chest line, divide my bust circumference by 4, and I'll connect all this point all the way to the shoulder slope to form my armhole. The next thing is to mark the dart. Divide your nipple to nipple measurement by 2. I'll mark it on the chest line, on the bust line, on the waistline, all the way to the top length. I'll connect all these points together with a straight line. We are literally repeating what we did on the front pattern at this point. I'm going to come to the waistline, mark ½ inch on both sides of this line. I'll come down by 6 inches from the waistline and come down from the chest line by 1 inch. And I'll go ahead and connect my dart. So I'm going to connect from here to the midpoint of my armhole like so, and I'll come out by ½ inch here. I'll go ahead and reconnect my armhole like so. The next thing is to impute the round body measurements. I've already marked my bust, so I'll add my sewing allowance. I'll come to the waistline, mark my waist measurement here, the 1 inch for that. I'll replace it, then add my sewing allowance. I'll come to the top line, my hip by 4. I'll mark it, then add my sewing allowance. I'll go ahead and connect all my markings together. I'm going to come to the waistline here on the zipper allowance. I'll mark 1/2 inch here. The reason why we're doing this is to eliminate this bulginess we have around the waist, alright, so that our zip can lay very flat at the back. So the excess that we're supposed to have around here, we're going to take it out. We're going to cut this area out, and I'm going to come up here by 1/2 inch and connect it back just to give it a nice curve. And this is basically it for the back pattern. I'll go ahead and cut this out. So this is our side front, side back, and center back. We're going to be cutting ×2 of each piece, and this is basically it for this tutorial. If you find this video helpful, do it to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any question, please do it to drop it in the comment section and I will attend to it. See you in the next video.